Welcome to Deep Thought, the mental health ramifications of the staffing shortages. Now, on this channel, we think about stuff. It could be some metaphysical, spiritual stuff, or it could be just some stuff happening. And you know how I roll on here. Because I was thinking about that because, I had a conversation with a lady friend last night. I had called her about something, and she was actually in her car in line at a local restaurant, drive-through. And she said, and normally she doesn't do drive-through, but she said she had to, and it was a long line because the particular restaurant had a shortage of staff, so they were only taking drive-through. They closed the dining room part. I was like, wow. And I've been thinking about that because there's a lot of places that have a shortage. Like, okay, I send out hardcover copies of my book, Sexual Chemistry, right? Hard copies of my book. And I remember I went to the post office, my local post office, to mail the copies. And it was a little bit after 3:00. I got there and the place was closed. And I'm like, what? I mean, technically it doesn't close till 5, but it was closed. And one thing, they were having a shortage. And I've noticed that they've had a shortage. There were times recently they would close at lunchtime, like close down, not the usual, okay, have some people working, have some people eating. They just didn't have enough people. It is crazy. And, at my local grocery store, they have a sign up at the deli counter saying, hey, please be patient. We have a shortage of staff. And, of course, that's part of the, the great resignation, people quitting all these jobs and everything. And I've said before, some of them, they're not given the proper benefits and everything. But then some of them, they jobs for like people just starting out. For people who don't need a living wage because they're still living at home with their mama. And I'm just like, wait a minute. And I'm thinking about it in another way because you know how we do on Deep Thought. We don't just see something, but we think about it. We look at it. And I'm thinking about it, the mental health ramifications of this staffing shortage. I wonder how this is going to affect people. And let's be clear. Let me just say something. And this ain't quite it's a tangent, but not a tangent. I want to see what y'all have to say on it because on this channel, that's why I always say, even if you disagree with what I'm saying, please express it in an intelligent manner. As long as you don't attack anybody, I want to hear it because this is one of those ones I don't know the answer to. Because it's not like I'm making a statement and say, hey, there's going to be some problem. I'm like curious as to what other people see, how it might affect people. Because think about something. What the staffing shortage? Okay, what happens? One, you got a lot of people out of work, not working, don't want to work, or don't want to work in a particular place. Because we got to be real with something. I've talked to a lot of people. Like I always say, where I live, I know somebody in almost every store I go into. I like I can stand there, and have like a good half an hour conversation with them to that level. Some I would even call friend, right? And they've been telling me, there's a shortage, we need people around here. And a lot of them have complained. They say, well, yeah, these people don't want to work and everything. All right, that's one angle. But then the people working, they got to do extra. And I wonder how that's affecting people. Think about it. You doing extra work, but let's be real, they probably ain't going to pay you more. You doing extra things because there's a shortage. How's that affecting mental health? And if we have any mental health professionals that are listening, please feel free to share. Because like I said, I don't know the answer. This, like I said, on this channel, I don't know everything. I'll just be straight up with you. I don't know everything. A lot of times I throw out stuff just to get other people's thoughts. And I'm like, what? I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, what could be the mental health ramification? Maybe I'll look up something, but because think about it. On one side, you have some people who don't feel like they getting paid what they deserve, and that's fair. No, they should. They should. Some of these owners and stuff are just greedy. You don't need $250 for a water faucet, okay? Shoot. You only drive that Lamborghini like once a week. All right. You could share some of that money just to help some people. All right. But what's their mental thoughts? They not getting paid what they deserve, or the people who still working, they not getting paid what they deserve, or the people who, they getting all these stimulus and government. And I've heard of people, they making more money with unemployment than they would on the job. Now, how's that affecting them? Because let's be real, and this is especially for men, but I know increasingly for women as well, but especially for men, we need to stay busy. It's part of a man's self-esteem to have a job. Seriously, I've seen men, just to battle that self-esteem issue, they'd do whatever they had to do. But how's somebody thinking if they don't have a job, or they not getting what they want, or they working too hard, or what's their mindset where they don't even want to work, period? They not even looking. They figuring, hey, I'm getting paid doing this. And I'm just like, wow. And I'm just thinking about it. I'm just like, what are the long term? That's why, I'm inviting. I'm invited. Trust me, I'm invited. Anybody who could give some perspective. What have you seen if you're a mental health professional? Because I don't know. Like I said, I just thought about it literally last night, or the night before I recorded this. And I just said, you know what? I got to see what's going on here. I got to talk to some people, because it can't be good. Because I know I've met people. I remember quite a few people, and they'll say when they didn't have a job, they just didn't feel good about themselves. Like I remember this one guy, he was a barred attorney. And, just in that area, at least back then, I don't know what it is like now, he had a glut of attorneys. Some of them had to take jobs, actually waiting tables or something just to work. And they had the bar and everything. But a barred attorney, and he said he actually had to get some therapy because he wasn't working for a little bit, just a few months. That's how much it meant. So I'm like thinking to myself, how's this doing? It's affecting everybody. It's even affecting customers. Like when I was talking with my lady friend last night, she was just slightly annoyed. She's the type, she just want to walk in, get her stuff, and go. How many people, they in long lines, car lines for something. And in fact, how's it affecting it otherwise? Well, one effect, I got to just put this out there. A lot of stuff is getting more automated. And I used to talk about that a few years ago, with universal basic income and automation. I remember I was in a gas station. I had to go in and get something real quick. And, I'm standing in line. I saw a guy behind the counter, and I'm like waving my stuff like, can you check me out? And he just said, oh, no, these are self-checkouts. Like all the registers are self-checkouts. And you just had one guy in there. I'm like, wait a minute. Those are several jobs that are not there. So, I don't know. Like I said, this ain't one thing I'm saying, okay, this definitively would happen. I'm like, I want to have a discussion about what do y'all see? Because, I'm going to give it to the people who support this channel. Y'all highly intelligent. Even statements that I might not see the point of view, or even just outright disagree with, I'm like, that was still intelligent. Let me think about that at least. I will at least think about if it's presented intelligently. So let me know what y'all think on that one, okay? So anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace and blessings.